Hello and welcome to today's Wholehearted Living podcast episode with your host Debs Thorpe, and we are going to be diving into just how unbelievably powerful your mind is today and how you can begin to harness it. So let's do this. So I'm going to be introducing you to the concept that your mind is such a powerful tool that we can harness to really support you create this wholehearted life, to really help bring your desires and your dreams to life. Okay, so I've spoken in previous episodes about how we have to become a good commander of the mind. Like, honestly, if we could teach like some core concepts of this stuff to kids at school, this would be one of them, is that rather than you feeling like you are at the whim of your mind and your thoughts and your beliefs at any one time, that you actually are the commander. Okay, another analogy I use a lot is that you are the conductor. Okay, and you get to decide what scene, who's involved, what's going on, that you get to decide that at any point. You get to decide the scene that your mind is going to play out for you. And what can happen is that we, particularly when we're tired or we're stressed or we're going through a difficult time, is that we lose all concept that we are the ones that should be in the commanding seat of our mind at any one time. So we then become this passive observer to everything that is going on in our mind, and we get caught up in believing it to be true. So one of the things that happens a lot with clients that I work with is that they will get caught up in situations that maybe has triggered an old belief for them. Maybe it's a belief of, I'm not good enough, or what if I disappoint someone or let them down, or, it's generally something around, what if I fail, or they'll have that initial thought and then that recruits other thoughts and beliefs that support that. And before you know it, you've now got a whole mind and thought system that has then activated emotions and memories in the body of all of the reasons why you're not good enough, why you're a failure, why that you disappoint people. Okay, and so then it's like you're in it, it's happening, you're immersed in it. You can't see a different perspective that would tell you that that's not true. So we then are in it, and then we're believing it, and then we're acting from that place. So, this can happen literally within a split second. Okay, so, I've talked before about how we have to slow everything down because we want to catch it and we want to change out that scene before it starts building too much momentum. So I want to talk to you today about just how powerful the mind is and how we begin to harness it. So I'm going to take you through a small little example of this from a world-renowned therapist and hypnotherapist called Marissa Peer. So I want you to, if it's safe for you to do this, by the way, because it is going to require you to close your eyes. So if it's safe for you now to just close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to put your hand in in front of your mouth, like literally a few inches away from your mouth. Okay, just slightly open hand. And I now want you to imagine that you have the one half of the like biggest, juiciest lemon in that hand. Okay, so as you're holding it just a couple of inches away from your mouth, you can smell that really amazing lemon scent. It's literally making your mouth water as you can smell it. You can feel the juice of the lemon starting to drip down your hand, down your arm. You can feel the texture of that slightly rubbery skin on your fingers. And as you're holding this literally just a few inches away from your mouth, you can really, really begin to smell that aroma, and you can feel your mouth watering as you are picturing this lemon right in front of you. And now what I want you to do is take that lemon and force it all the way into your mouth. That whole half of the lemon, you just shove it straight into your mouth, and you're chewing it and all of the juice is just dripping everywhere, and you can feel the rubberiness of the skin in your mouth, and you can feel the segments of lemon as they're bursting open with that lemon juice, and you can feel all of that going on in your mouth right now. And now I want you to open your eyes, see that your hand is empty, and come back into this space. Now, what you will have likely discovered is that your mouth watered in response to that. Now, was there actually a lemon there? Is the question. Well, not physically, no, but to all intents and purposes, to your brain there was, and your body started responding in the way that it would respond to if you were to eat any part of a lemon, which is to produce more saliva. Okay, because lemons are very acidic, and so your body's response to a lemon is to produce more saliva to provide a bit more coating and protection to your teeth and to break down the compounds of the lemon, right? So your body will have started having the physical response, even though in physical reality there wasn't an actual lemon in front of you. So this is one demonstration of how powerful your mind is in creating conditions that your body and your emotions and everything else follows. So I really invite you today to begin to become very diligent observers of your mind and what it is creating at any one time, and what you are choosing for that environment to be like. So one way that I work with this is, I always say to people, like first thing in the morning, when just as you're waking up, or you're getting ready, just those first few minutes in the morning, how are you playing out your day? So are you already looking ahead going, oh God, I've got all of that stuff to do at work, and oh, I know that person, and when we're in that meeting, they're always like this, and it's so annoying, and they just take over, and and I know that the journey into work and back it's just going to be hellish, and it's just like, and so I want you to, now as you hear that very, very small thought train going on, can you imagine what that is doing to your body, it's already filling it with dread. Like, it's almost kind of like pre-stressed at the thought of it, right? It's already thinking about, okay, do I need to be in defensive mode, ready for someone who is like, who I believe is going to attack me? Like, it's already setting the physiology for that to happen. Okay. Now, I come from huge experience here because for a long time I was working in a way that wasn't truly aligned for me. So I was good at it. I was very, very accomplished in what I was doing. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. And so the longer I like carried on in a way that wasn't aligned for me, the more that I was preempting what my day was going to be like in a really negative way. So it'd be like, oh, you know, I've got this treatment to do, or this, and, you know, I know what this is going to be like. And, oh, you know, so like already, like there was like this sense of dread and heaviness going on in my body. Okay, versus, okay, well, how do I want to feel today? How do I want today to be? You know, if I was going to be commanding this, my inner world today, if I was going to be the director of my inner world today, what would I want it to be and what would I keep out? Okay, if you've got, you know, I don't know, if you imagine that you are the director of the most amazing ballet, okay, and you've got all of these highly skilled, highly accomplished ballerinas and dancers in front of you that require, you know, lots of concentration and everything else going on, you're not just going to keep on, you know, allowing tons of distractions and disturbances to that, right? You're gonna close the doors on it. You're gonna go, no, this is what's more important. Okay. And so rather than pre-playing out the day in anticipation in a way that is, you know, negative and is driving more stress and tension and everything else, I want you to take a few moments, and it literally just is a few moments at the start of your day when you're waking up, and start to command and decide what you want your inner world experience to be. So this doesn't have to be the same every day. It certainly isn't for me. There's some days when I wake up and it's like, do you know what? It's been a while since I felt really playful and fun. That's what I want my focus to be today. Today, my inner world is going to be playful and fun. And so, you know, I then might do my normal morning walk. So I've got 2 dogs. I take them for a walk as soon as I get up in every morning. So rather than that just being a normal walk that I do on a normal route every day, because I've woken up and I've decided I want to be fun and playful today, that's what I want my experience to be, I might imagine that I'm taking that walk through the eyes of a child. And I might look in awe and wonder at some of the trees and flowers and insects that I see on my walk. And I might start to get really curious about what these different things are that I'm looking at and observing. And I might skip down the road for a little bit, and I might pick some daisies and make a daisy chain. Okay. Like, I want you to begin to see that you setting the tone for your inner world during at the start of the day at least gives you a good shot at creating that experience for yourself as you go throughout the day. Now, this is a challenge for empaths. This is a challenge for sensitive people. This is a challenge for those who are hypervigilant. Okay. I speak to you from being all of those things. So I know, for example, I can feel that way and decide that for myself and go and have one of those amazing, fun, playful walks and walk back into the house, and my husband David looking like he's got a face of like thunder or misery, and I'm like, oh, okay. And that wave of whatever's going on with him, then I can feel myself starting to take that on, right? So I'm not saying that this makes you invincible to everything that's going on, but it at least sets the tone for your inner physiology of the day. You know, speaking from like my own experience here, it's so much better to at least start the day with you setting the intention of how you want to feel, of how you want your inner world to be, than and do so in a really positive way. You know, maybe you wake up and you just want to feel calm or peaceful, you know, or just reflective, right? You decide, but at least that sets the command of your kind of little soldier in your brain that is going to go and find the things that most align with that. It's going to start filtering your experience through that. And what you tend to find is that the more you practice this, the more that you will have a different experience through your life. So an example of this is, for example, if you work in an office, or you have meetings, or you work from home and you're online a lot, you will have a different response to people and a different reaction to people, which in turn then will very often change their behavior and language towards you. So, you know, if, for example, I know I've had this experience where I have decided that I want my experience of my world today to be one of like peace and positivity. Okay, maybe I've been a bit caught up in some negative stuff and I just want to like have some peace and positive energy for the day, right? So I begin my day with that. I, you know, go on my morning walk, and you know, I'm in awe at the different shapes of the clouds, and it's like, wow, this is amazing, and isn't nature incredible, and how is it that all of this is functioning? And like, you know, I can allow myself to be in awe, and I'm really enjoying that, right? And enjoying the peace of that. And then maybe you walk into the office, or your first interaction with someone is going, oh, you'll never believe this that's happened, and they immediately are starting with that, like, oh, you know, kind of like negativity and wanting to draw you in it, and you've already made the decision that you're just going to have this like really nice, calm, positive, peaceful day, and so you don't take that on. Maybe even, you know, say to them like, maybe the way that you respond to them is different. You know, maybe normally you might join them in it and be like, oh no, this is so bad, and you know, what about this? And then it just becomes this like drama filled conversation, you know, that you don't get drawn into it this time. And so you're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that that's been your experience. You know, is there anything that can be done, or what support do you need right now? But you don't get drawn into it, right? So this is what I mean about how you can begin to craft your inner world experience. Now, you know, it's not to I'm going to say this with a caveat because I don't think anyone listening to this podcast would be this way. Otherwise, I don't think you'd be here listening to it. But it's not to go that you kind of lock yourself in behind the barricades, is how I would describe it. So what I've seen happen with some clients is that they almost become so protective of their inner world that it's like they'll protect it at all costs, which then means maybe they don't connect with others, or they begin to isolate themselves so much. And that's almost like a fear response of, well, I have to protect my own inner peace at all costs, so therefore I'm not going to integrate or be vulnerable or connect with others, for example. That's not what we're aiming for here. What we're aiming for is setting an intention for what we want our inner world experience to be throughout the day, and holding that as almost like the guiding framework for how then we show up and how we interact and what actions we take throughout the day. Now, we're human beings, we get to be adaptable. Okay, I might start the day going, I really want to have this playful, light, fun energy and experience today. And then something happens that requires my very much adult, serious self to step into. Okay, so we're adaptable, but what very few of us do is at least start the day with an intention of what we want our experience to be. We tend to either play out the day based on how we think it's going to go based on our past experience. So our days end up becoming very, very samey, very monotonous, because we're preempting our experiences based on what's already happened. And so today just gets to be a repeat of yesterday and the day before, etc. Or we don't set an intention at all. And so we are at the whim of whatever externally happens to us. So, that's where we fall into the danger of, okay, well, we can only be happy when that happens or if that happens, versus I'm going to choose this today for myself because this is what I want my inner world experience to be like. And I will trust that I will then be guided towards the things, the people, the situations, the places, for example, where that can also flourish in my external environment. So that's what I'm talking about here, is really harnessing the power of your mind in a way of setting the intention of what you want your inner world experience to be on a day-to-day basis. And, we'll tap into this more and more as we dive into this in different episodes in the podcast, of what it is to really harness the power of your mind and your imagination and the huge, huge physiological impact that has on the body. Like, it's really staggering. Hence why guided meditations and stuff work so well. So that's my invitation for you today. I want you to really begin to harness the power of your mind and your intention and what it is to create your inner world from that place. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, as you're getting dressed, as you're brushing your teeth, as you're going about your day, I want you to ask yourself, what is my inner world experience that I want for myself today? Do I want fun, playfulness? Do I want to really be embodying my feminine energy today? Do I want to be do I want my inner world to feel empowered? Do I want to feel calm and peaceful? Do I want to feel decisive? Like, how is it that you want to feel? And then deciding that that's what your inner world experience is going to be like, and then seeing what happens. So then as you're going about the day, it's really nice to just check in and go, okay, am I still feeling that? Am I still honoring that as important as a focus as I go throughout today? Or have I let myself get derailed and caught up in other stuff? So just allow yourself to keep coming back to it. But let me know how you get on with this. I'd love to know what this is like for you, and how it changes your day. And I very much look forward to diving more into this in future podcast episodes as well. All right, bye for now.